Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another episode of Moto Unboxing. On today's episode, we got something super exciting from a company that you've seen on the channel a few times now, VEVOR, tough tools, half price. And what we got today is high pressure airless paint sprayer, and the model name is RP8626. It's the US plug version, and I'm very much excited. You may ask, how does it have to do with motorcycles? And I will tell you, I'm in the process of building my own motorcycle shed up here in the Catskills, and I'm gonna use this to spray the baby and also spray this deck, for example, and a couple of other projects. So I'm very much excited for VEVOR to send me this. So I'm gonna unbox it, I'm gonna go through it, I'm gonna preview it for you all so you know what to expect when you buy one. So let's open it up and see what we got on the inside. We are right away greeted with a couple of things. The baby weighs about 21 pounds, pretty heavy. And when the box arrived, for some reason I expected the box to be a lot bigger and a lot heavier, but it's actually very handy. So let's pull out and see what we got inside the box. We got some packing supply, we got manuals, and there's 3 different manuals that come with the piece. So we got the quick startup guide, which is super handy. I looked through it and it's very, very nice. This is the unit that we have right here, the 750 watt, the 8626, right? Yep. So this is a quick startup guide, which will tell you how to get off the ground, how to get going, how to prime it, and all of that. This right here is an instruction manual for the spray gun, and this tells you how to take it apart, how to clean it, how to repair it, troubleshoot it, that and that. And this right here is for the complete unit. It's for the actual sprayer and the pump and all that. It has a diagram tree, so you know how to repair it, replace it. You got some troubleshooting, and if you can't correct your problem with this guide here, then you're better off contacting these people directly for some help. So let's set this aside and let's see what's inside this little box. So inside this box, we got our gun, our spray gun, and I'm gonna go through all the functions and all the features in a little bit. Then we have our little cleaning brush, which is very important because one thing about these is that you have to make sure to clean it after every job, because that's what determines if this thing is gonna continue to function for you or if it's gonna break and clog up and be useless. So that is important. Let's set this aside. Then inside the bag, we have an extra filter for the paint inlet hose. And I'm going to show you where it goes in a little bit. But an extra filter like this costs a couple of dollars, so it's nice that they include it. Then they also include an extra filter for your spray gun, which is super nice. There's already one inside the gun. Then we got a couple of tools. These are also important because this is a high pressure system and you have to make sure to tighten all the hoses before you start using it so you don't make a mess and you don't injure yourself. And we also got a couple of rubber bushings here for the hoses and for the spray gun. So we're gonna set all this aside for now. Next, we're gonna pull out the hose. This right here is a 25-foot long 1/4 inch spray hose for the airless assembly. It comes with cute little caps, and the beauty of it is that it's all rotates 360 degrees, so that way the hose will not get kinked up while you're spraying. And then we got a party piece, the actual big baby. But before that, we also have this 12-inch extension for the sprayer. It comes with these caps here for shipping, obviously, and also to protect the threads when you're not using it. Very handy. And this is the actual unit. It's pretty straightforward, very simple. We got the hose here for inletting of the paint and for priming. Then we got this little cup right there, which is kind of handy. You rest this here, this filter here, when it's not in use, so you're not making a mess on your floor. So that's kind of cool. I wonder if it comes off for cleaning. I would imagine it does, perhaps not. But yeah, so that's for that, for keeping it here. Then we got your power hose, 3-pronged. It's obviously grounded. It's important to ground this unit when you're using it. We got a really nice on-off button here. And what I really appreciate is that it has a little bit of rubber over it. So the way when this thing is full of paint and covered in paint, and when it dries, the button will still function because you can clean it off and use it. Very nice. And over here, we got 2 switches. This switch right here is for priming or for spraying. So when you're priming the unit, you will put the switch down, and when you're spraying, you will put the switch to the side just like that. And it's very important, one thing to remember, when you are using the unit and when it's on and when it's pressurized, you never flip this switch, because that will cause for this to blow out and for damage to be caused. So be careful with that. On this side over here, we have the PSI switch. So you basically rotate it. This is the little arrow that you use to figure out where to line it up. So it starts with the roll, because because this unit can actually be used with a roller that is sold separately. So it doesn't come with the roller attachment, but you can buy it and you can attach it. So you can rotate this here to prime or clean position. So when you're priming the pump or when you're done with the job, you're cleaning it out, and then it goes up to the low spray pressure and to high spray pressure. And from what I understand, most people use this on the highest setting at all time, but I'll figure that out when I cross that bridge. Another beauty of this thing is the price and the features that you get for the price, because I'll be honest, I looked at a couple of units at Home Depot, at Tractor Supply, and at Harbor Freight, and this right here has the most features for the price. Also, the reviews are really, really good. Like all of us, we read reviews, and if you look up this model name and this unit, you will see that most reviews are very, very positive. So let's see what we got. So here we go. We got our spray gun, and this has 360 degree of motion here, which is very handy to make sure that your hose does not get kinked up when you're using it, especially when you're using it up. You don't have to pay attention to the hose. I mean, you still have to pay attention to the hose to make sure it's not kinked up, but this will help the hose to stay free. Inside the handle, there's already pre-installed spray filter. So basically, you use the wrench included, you loosen the handle, and you pop in the new filter once it's clogged, or after you're done using it and you want to clean it out, because it's very important. Like I mentioned previously, maintenance is what's going to separate this unit working for you forever versus it getting clogged up and you getting frustrated. We have our 4-finger trigger over here, which is very handy. So we have this little lock lever here, so you can lock the trigger out in the on position or the off position in case you are doing a large job and you just want to keep this baby spraying, or if you want to store it. Then we have this hook here for hanging. We have a little guard right here. Then this comes off, but before I show you that, so we have 2 little functions here. So when it's pointing that way, this is for spraying the paint. This right here is for cleaning out the clog. In case this gets clogged up, you switch this lever around and you can see the hole is much bigger, and that's how you can unclog the gun. This over here comes off for easy cleaning, because once you get it used, you want to clean it right away. I keep mentioning cleaning because that's, I think, the most important part of units like this, the sprayers like this, is maintenance and cleaning. So I plan on using water-based paint, so that way I can easily just clean this with water or some soap and use the provided brush, obviously, you know, to brush out all the little parts and clean it out, and that's going to be very easy. But that said, you can also use this unit with oil-based paint, and that could be a little bit trickier to clean, probably take a little bit longer, but you know, it's up to you. Like I mentioned, there is the extension, a little foot-long extension that you can bolt onto here. Then you bolt it onto the gun, just like that, and that way you can reach a little bit farther. And you have to make sure to tighten all of this with your tools when it's time to go. This nozzle here also rotates from horizontal to vertical, depending on how you want to spray. If you want to spray like this, or if you want to spray side to side, that will determine the function. Very nice, very handy. It's very easy to hold. The handle is rubberized here for the grip, and the 4-finger trigger is also very handy. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. So let me remove this, because we don't need to use this right this second. And all of this also spins and rotates. Like I mentioned, you also get an extra filter here for your inlet for the paint, which is very nice. So let's put the gun back together, and I will quickly tell you how to prime this baby and get it ready for paint. So obviously, you will plug in the unit into the wall. You will take the hose. And one thing that I've heard mentioned is, as a little drawback, if you will, that if you have a big job ahead of you and you're using a 5-gallon bucket, this hose, as is, will not reach the bottom of the bucket. Think about it. The bucket is about like this, 5-gallon, and this will not reach. So there's 2 workabouts. You can either, or 3, you can either use 1-gallon, 2-gallon, or 3-gallon buckets, which, you know, you're gonna have to refill more, or you can elevate the unit and then you can drop this into the 5-gallon bucket, or you can actually easily replace these hoses, because these hoses here are attached by these clamps, right? And these hoses are not expensive whatsoever, so you can buy as long of a hose as you want and replace them really easily. So the way you can reach the bottom of a 5-gallon bucket all you want. And this right here, I really like it so you don't make a mess. So basically, to prime this unit, you plug it in, you rotate this little knob here to the prime position so it lines up. You take the switch, you drop it down. this here goes inside your paint. You separate the hose from the clips, right? So this hose right here goes inside your paint. This hose right here is for purging all the air out of the system and also the paint. So this goes into the paint, this goes into a separate bucket so you don't make a mess. And as soon as the paint starts coming out of this hose, that means your unit is primed. Basically, you got all the air out of the system and you're ready to spray paint. At that point, you will turn off the unit, make sure it's depressurized, switch it to the high spray or low spray, depending on your application. Flip this switch to the spray position so you're ready to spray. Then you clip the lines together. One thing that's important to remember when you're starting to spray, that the level of these hoses is the same. Because if one hose is higher like this or one is much lower, it will not function properly. So it's important to line up these hoses perfectly, just like so. The whole unit feels very solid. VEVOR is known for really good construction. I have a couple of VEVOR items. I have a couple of tool kits, then I have some drills, I have a pressure washer and other things. And honestly, personally, I've never had any VEVOR items go bad. And I'm sure there's people out there who perhaps have, but I haven't. And right here, it tells you the model number once again, RP8626, 3000 PSI, which is 207 bars, 120 volts, 60 hertz. And 21 pounds, you know, even though it doesn't weigh a ton, it does have some weight. It does have some heft. And what I like is that it's mostly made out of metal. Obviously, this back piece is plastic. This is plastic, but this right here is metal. This is metal. So I feel like it can take some abuse. These switches here feel really solid, and this right here is obviously where you attach your paint hose. It's also covered with a little cap for your storage as well as for shipping. So you take the little caps off of here, you attach it, and as mentioned, it's very, very important to use the tools that they provide you to tighten this, because otherwise, guaranteed, you will make a mess. And that is why they provide you with these. And same with here. They provide you with two tools for the purpose of attaching your spray gun. And the beauty of these is that no Teflon tape is necessary for assembling this. So you grab it here, you grab it there, and you tighten it to make sure no paint escapes. So now you are ready to use it. Once you prime it, you switch this lever to spray, just like so. This right now is in vertical position, but we can turn it like that. Also remember to tighten everything. Every little connection has to be tightened with tools. And then you're ready to spray. I'm not gonna pretend to teach you proper spraying techniques, and I'm not gonna show you how to spray it now, just because my shed is not ready and this deck has not been pressure washed. But in one of the follow-up videos, you will certainly see this baby in action. So thank you very much for watching. If you have any questions, let me know, and make sure to click the link below if you want to get one of these. And thank you for watching, and enjoy your day and enjoy your spray job.